How's everyone doing? So, today I'm going to talk about abusive relationships with a twist. Okay, so a lot of us have heard, some of the signs of an abusive relationship. When someone physically harms you, someone who may not allow you to be yourself, your authentic self, someone who tries to convince you that what's right is actually wrong, someone who will put you down time and time again instead of uplifting you. We consider this to be abusive relationships, right? What happens when the person who is abusing you is yourself? What happens when you have beaten yourself down so low with your own words and or thoughts that you no longer have the ability to really be your authentic self in front of others? You beat yourself down so low that you have determined to take the easy route out. And what is the easy route out for most people? Failure. You're okay with being a failure. You won't even try to do better. You'll actually sit there and fight tooth and nail with others to prove that your failing life is actually one that should be acceptable to yourself and to others. I'm not sure if y'all paying attention to a lot of these so-called YouTubers who proclaim to be living in their truth. But when you actually listen to them and you listen to what their truths are, you will understand that their truths is just an excuse for them to say, hey, although this isn't really acceptable, is nothing positive about this, but because I'm willing to speak about it, then it should be acceptable. Instead of me saying, hey, I've gone to jail for doing something I shouldn't have done, and I've since learned, what's correct, what is proper. I've learned that that was a mistake, and I'm moving forward to something better. We have people say, I've been to jail, and so what? And it is what it is, and this is acceptable because, it's my truth, and it's just the truth. And because it's the truth, it's supposed to be acceptable. Are these the people raising children right now? Because if you can't even admit that what you did, whatever it was wrong, improper, against the law, if you can't even admit that to yourself, if you can't say, look, yes, I did something wrong, and I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of doing something wrong. Like we really have people on here saying that they did something wrong, they went to jail for it, and they're actually proud of it. They're proud of it because they did it. Does that make sense to anyone? When I put it in those terms, because there's no other way to put it. There's no other way. Listen, when I say, look, hey, when I was younger, I did some things. And I've since learned that that isn't the proper way of doing things. Or I could have done things differently. That's me saying, hey, I see that what I was doing, there was other options that maybe I didn't see at the time, or maybe I did see them, and because I was young, hot-headed, you know what I mean, I just didn't even think that because of who I am that I even had an opportunity to do better. See, in the black community, that is a major issue, especially with our youth. They really don't think that they could really be successful. And nobody is pushing them to be successful. They're actually looking at their parents and their grandparents and other people in the community and realizing that there's no successful people here. And they think they need to come to terms that the probability of them being anything other than what they see around them is slim to none. And that's why as young kids, our youth tend to go for wanting to be entertainers, basketball, football players, wanting to be rappers. Because in the black community, those are where it looks like that's capable. And we can shoot for the stars. We can become these things, even though, the probability in becoming any of those things are slimmer than you becoming a doctor, a nurse, a lawyer. You have a better chance of becoming a lawyer than becoming an actual successful rapper. And when it comes to playing ball, it's even slimmer than that. What's the number of total active professional football players out there? How many basketball players, professional basketball players, are there out there? You see what I'm saying? So sometimes when I give my messages, right, it's not I'm not thinking about a small group of people. I'm not thinking about one person. I'm talking about the masses. And I'm talking about our youth, the people, the kids who I deal with on a large scale in various communities. And they all think the same way. They could see the drug dealer on the street corner. And they actually see that is a possibility for them. That's a job that they can accomplish. What they need to see more of are doctors and lawyers who look like them. I don't know. I'm not here to judge anyone. I'm here just to give you other options. To see things that even I did not see. And I didn't see it because it wasn't around me, but that doesn't mean that it's not a possibility. So, me raising my children, I was that parent who was telling these kids that they could be doctors, they could be lawyers, they could be this, they could be that. You want to get into the computer field. You want to do this, you want to do that. It's possible for you to do these things. Why not run for governor? You want to be a president? Well, start taking those steps. You don't have to be a genius in order to be, in a lot of these fields. You just have to be good, learn the job, and be good at what it is that you want to do. And we need to stop trying to look for ways that will give us quick cash, because those ways not always necessarily true. Just because you see a rapper in a song being able to throw that money in the air does not mean that he can really afford to throw that money in the air. And we also need to explain to our children what they see in movies or in music videos isn't necessarily the truth. It isn't the real world. Today, what I need to be saying is that what you see on Instagram, the people portraying their life, they're taking a snapshot of their lives and making it look fantastic. And it's not necessarily reality. We need to explain to our children that it takes hard work and you push forward with positivity. You don't become monstrous. You don't become mean and nasty to people to succeed. But anyway, I digress. I mean, if you want to live in the hood and you think that that's what you need to be in the hood, well, you need to be nasty towards people. And you wonder why people are nasty and not friendly towards one another. Because they have that belief that if you want to succeed in this, you got to be rough and tough and nasty. Instead of saying, hey, educate yourself. Figure out what you want to be and learn about it. Educate yourself. Anyway, I'm done with that. I hope you all have a fantastic week. One love.